from The Little Mermaid, dressing up in their Disney-branded outfits for Halloween and eating off of plates bearing their likenesses at birthday parties, was suddenly something I myself felt for Vida, Noxzema, and Chi-Chi in Tu Wong Fu. They were my princesses, twirling curves of color like those from movie musicals, but they were now. They were alive. They were not in the 1950s, and they were not animated. They were happening at the same time I was happening. The idea that such glamour could exist here, now, in 1995, was miraculous to me, especially when I saw teenagers at the mall wearing giant Jinko jeans that frayed and sloshed against the sidewalk, flannel shirts falling open over skateboarding t-shirts. I wanted to absorb every eyelash, every wig, every hat and dress and skirt and heel and luscious quip delivered with an acid tongue. Every nail on thick, strong hands that clapped in joy, every token of positive wisdom spoken in spite of adversity, bullying, and judgment. They were magical, their outlooks effervescent, and exploding with power that's only available to those who've culled it by overcoming years of anguish. They were multidimensional. They felt sad, they felt angry, they hurt, but they never let that stop them from being absolutely fabulous. While we know now Tu Wong Fu has aspects to celebrate, question, and criticize, which are discussed later in this book, the film, amid the 90s drag boom I'll also discuss, helped acquaint a generation with drag, myself of course included. After seeing Tu Wong Fu, I consumed drag every way I could. At 19, I went to my first drag show with my parents at Cinema Paradiso in Fort Lauderdale, where drag magician Cashetta, may she rest in peace, disappeared a balloon down her throat. I also went with my family to Lips, a drag restaurant and bar on Oakland Park Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. I didn't know at the time of the original location in New York. There, Diva, who looked a little like 1960s to 1970s actress Juliette Mills, hosted a show of ferocious, gorgeous gals, including the inimitable Twat LaRouge, who performed in a wig and body formed entirely from painted styrofoam swirls. I watched the movies, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Paris is Burning, The Birdcage, Victor Victoria, Connie and Carla, anything I could get my hands on. Eventually, the inimitable RuPaul's Drag Race became the first way I, along with so many others, could see drag on a regular basis at home. Starting with Tu Wong Fu, the outlook of drag, the triumph of glamour over negativity, would become a driving force of my own life as I navigated through the trials and tribulations of self-doubt, self-acceptance, and self-love. Drag is the thing, the art form, that taught me to love myself. And for this reason, I have always carried for it such great reverence, respect, and, well, love. In some ways, I think I have been writing this book for more than 28 years. In college, my fascination with drag evolved into a deep appreciation for the effects of drag in gender performance, perhaps most famously described by Judith Butler in the 2007 edition of their foundational text, Gender Trouble, Feminism and the Subversion of Identity. Drag is an example that is meant to establish that reality is not as fixed as we generally assume it to be. The purpose of the example is to expose the tenuousness of gender reality in order to counter the violence performed by gender norms. Drag shows us that gender is merely a constructed notion, a highly mutable costume a person can put on or take off. Call it subversive or call it something else, Butler writes. Although this insight does not